They were exchanging Russian Jews for food. We were starving in the middle of the train station, not knowing the language, not knowing anybody. I went and I got my real estate license. They came to the closing with a suitcase full of $1 bills. By the end of the season, I tripled what I would make in a year. And I did. Right. Okay. And I was doing better than some of the lawyers. When everybody leaves, that's when we buy.
When we list a house, we'll get more money than your average realtor because we're going to do the things that they won't do.
You guys sell hundreds of millions of dollars in homes, no?
We do. In a year, we do very well financially.
What would you say to all the real estate agents listening?
This is a little crazy.
What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, folks, I got a real treat for you. Andrew and Milla Russo. What's happening?
Not much. How you doing, Brad?
I'm doing outstanding. I'm glad you guys are here because I might be in the game here pretty soon. Folks, if you guys don't know who they are, you can follow Instagram at mila.jupiter.realtor or website russo-group.com, russogroup.com. Andrew and Milla are a married luxury real estate power couple, founders of the Russo Group, a family-run luxury real estate operation. You guys sell them, you build them, you do all kinds of stuff. You flip them, you invest them. And you've been doing it for a long time. Yeah?
Yep.
That's correct, yes.
14 years married, 4 kids, built their business from the ground up through complementary skill sets. Milla, immigrant hustle and determination, paired with Andrew's relationship building and community presence. They represent the marriage as a business partnership model in high stakes real estate. I saw your social media, man. Those are some houses.
Thank you. By the way, you should be in sales. That's a nice intro we had. Appreciate that.
Well, I know a thing or two,
so I hear.
But I'll tell you that like those are some nice houses. Like they look to be what, 10, 20 million?
Some?
Yeah, some more so, some, a little less, but yeah.
So how did you guys, I want to go back. So you say immigrant.
Yes.
So where are you from?
Russia.
Soviet Union, actually.
Das Svidanya.
Yeah.
Da.
So you were from Russia and you came here when?
I came here in 1980 when our Ronald Reagan, good old Ronnie, was exchanging. A bunch of immigrants were coming, and Russia didn't have. There were a lot of hungry people there, so they were exchanging Russian Jews for food.
Food for Jews. It was a program back in the early 80s.
Yeah, and so
food. I don't get it. They were trading.
Well,
food
in Russia, there were people dying from communism.
Yeah.
And so the Russian president at the time was looking for all the Jews from anywhere to leave Russia. Most of them were going to Israel, but and in exchange, they would give food for people not to die. So that was
if you were Jewish, if you leave, we'll give the people that are here food.
Yes.
United States would send over like big grain, a lot of food just to keep you from starving, like a humanitarian. And in exchange, they would let people leave communist Soviet Union at the time, Jews in particular. That was the program.
And
why is it always the Jews getting screwed with?
Well, it's a weird thing because my dad was trying to get out of Russia for many, many years, and my mom is Catholic, but in Russia there was no religion at the time. So it was kind of weird because we had a dynamic of there was no religion and they were trying to leave Russia. My dad, when he was in St. Petersburg University, taught by a professor that was married to an American ambassador, said, and Lev, you have to go to America, to the land of the free. Now you have to understand, in Russia, there was communism. So you didn't know, you thought that Russia was the best country in the world. And they showed Harlem, like the worst parts of Harlem, as America. So literally they were brainwashed. All the people were brainwashed and they didn't know. So if you tried to leave, you could be put in jail or, that's what communism was.
So there was no such thing as flying over here.
No. It doesn't matter if you were rich or what that was, you couldn't just leave. And it took us 9 years. And my dad we were given that opportunity as being a Jewish to escape, to try to get a better life without knowing the culture, without knowing the language. My parents came and everybody flew to Israel. But my dad went to Vienna, and we were there starving in the middle of the train station, not knowing the language, not knowing anybody, because all the Jews flew to Israel. My dad was determined to go to Canada, which is what he was taught to do. And because of his determination, he met a really nice guy, a German Jew who saw us, who felt pity for us because we didn't have any money. We were with luggages, my young parents who were 30 and 35 at the time, and 3 young girls who were just in the middle of the train station without any papers, nothing. He brought us to a Jewish organization that eventually brought us to New York. So that was an interesting.
Now, this is obviously way before you.
Exactly right. So, and by the way, I'd argue that it was a good thing for the Jews to come to America, especially Milla, because she got to meet me.
For sure.
So what were you doing when she was going through this?
I was in probably elementary school, but
in America.
In America, yeah. I grew up in the Jupiter area, and
which is far from Harlem.
Far from Harlem, and I, just typical American childhood. So I'm just a regular old American gringo that I met Eastern Bloc Milla. So.
No, your parents were in restaurant business, and then
that's true. My parents,
a huge real estate company.
I wouldn't say huge, but my parents were at a restaurant, and then they started a real estate company that I did not want to be part of, because growing up and watching them real estate, it's like the last thing I wanted to do was to sell real estate or be in real estate, because I didn't want to do what my parents did. So, well,
selling it isn't unless you're selling big ass houses like you guys do. Selling it isn't really very lucrative compared to investing in it, developing it, stuff like that.
Correct. I mean, you don't start out. I didn't start out selling, multi-million-dollar homes, but at the time, everything costs less anyway. But you're right, though. You can do very well selling real estate as a full-time job. But you also, if you develop it and sell it and you own it, you can certainly do even better, arguably. But there's certainly some risk involved as well.
So you got here. I want to talk about the story we chatted about earlier, where you got here and your mom saved all her tips or something.
Yeah. So when we came to United States, my parents gave up we had a really nice lifestyle in Russia, but my parents were always savers. And my dad, they didn't know English. So he was offered to become a jeweler, and my mom took a job as a waitress. And after 3 years of real hard work, we lived in a very modest 1-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn, and we moved to save all the money to try to buy a house. So my parents bought a 6-family house, and they brought in about
6 family.
It's a 6-family apartment, one of those in Bensonhurst and 20th Avenue in Brooklyn. And so it's a 6-family. So you could rent out 5 of the units, and then you have a very nice apartment for yourself. So it just pays itself. And they bought it cash, and all my mom's waitressing money was saved. So they came to the closing with a suitcase full of $1 bills. They used to put the money under the pillow back then. One of the things that they were looking into is to move into a better neighborhood and save money and try to buy a home so that you can create what do you call it? So you build on equity. And I guess I never thought about it, but it was ingrained into my brain because it comes naturally, even though the hard work and ethic. I think that's what is a big thing. My parents would work 70, 80 hours.
So Milla's parents left, and her father had a pretty good job with the Communist Party in their town. So even though it's communism, he was kind of higher up in the hierarchy, but he still wanted out. So they left, relatively speaking, for Soviet Union, a pretty good lifestyle. come to America to start with nothing, and they saved all their money and were able to buy, and literally bought with cash, like dollar bills and maybe $20 bills too, a 6-family home, which was pretty remarkable. And their parents are still alive today, and
they're doing
wonderful.
great.
Yeah,
but
that's like, again, the normal immigrant story is like they come over here, they appreciate opportunity, and they work hard, and they make the American dream. And
they appreciate the free market too. So.
Yeah, well, when you left Russia, they must have like said, you're not taking shit with you.
Right. You couldn't.
Because you said you were hungry in the train station, but you were fine. Right. So when the families left, would they like take everything?
They had to leave everything behind in Russia to give it to your family. So we had a very nice apartment and we had money. We gave that all to our family. And it's interesting because we left in 1980 and 1991, all that money turned to nothing. And all that poverty in Russia just died. Just imagine having $1 million turn to 5 cents.
Have you been back?
No.
do you want to hear a funny story though? So,
because I always wonder, like, is Russia what we say it is? Just like this wasn't what they were saying it was. Is Russia? Well, maybe you go to Russia and it's beautiful.
Well, it's beautiful right now, but there's been a lot of sacrifices. The communism destroyed.
You didn't answer Brad's question if you've been back or not. So how do you know if it's beautiful or not? Because I have an interesting story if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Make
so
it quick.
The first year after we got married, Milla wanted to go to St. Petersburg in Belarus, where she's from. We're also going to do a trip to France, and I'm not a huge vacation guy, at least not since I married Milla, or before that rather. And so she's got this like 2.5 week trip planned. My vacations usually were long weekends, maybe 5 days, but so she's got the whole thing planned. Going to St. Petersburg and then to Belarus and then to the south of France. And I'm like, wow. And she's got the thing planned. She's online with all these tours, got all these great things set up, great stay accommodations, going to go see her where she's from in Belarus, in addition to going to St. Petersburg, which is a lot of history, which I like. So it's game day and we're flying out of Miami and we took a car service down there because we're going to be gone for so long. And we get there, everything's going really smooth. And then we get to...
And we're usually running late. We're usually the last ones to arrive but we came 2 hours early and we took a special service car. We get there bored.
So we're going through the line. Everything's going so smooth. We're going out of Lufthansa. And Mila's leading the way. She's got the whole thing planned. And I hear the person in front of me say, the clerk say to the person in front of me, "Can you show me your visa?" But that was odd. They asked for a visa and not a passport. And then they come to us and they ask for our visa. And Milla shows our passports. And the lady says, "Well, you need a visa to go to Russia." She's like, "I'm an American. I don't need a visa." She's like, "Well, because you're American, you actually do need a visa." So she says, "I'm going to call your boss. I want to go to the consulate.
I'm going to talk to the manager. This is not sufficient."
And I'll call the Russian consulate in Miami. We'll get it. And she's like, "It's a 6 week." Anyway, so Milla, being Milla with a strong personality, she decided, ultimately I knew we weren't going to Russia. So the short answer is no, she's not been back. Although we've talked about doing it.
We might go this year.
Yeah.
Aren't you afraid? What if they change a rule?
It's different right now.
What if you're stuck?
It's different. As long as I don't get up and start talking about Putin in a bad way. If I get up and start saying Putin is a thug and all, they'll put me in jail. The communism is still there, but it's quiet. But back then, I mean, it was really, really bad.
Yeah.
I actually sometimes worry about our country because I just.
Well, you said something earlier.
Because it's heading to be communistic.
Well,
I don't know. I don't think we're there. Definitely not. But there are some aspects where a couple of years ago where you had to be careful as to what you say. If you say something and people don't like it or the media doesn't like it, you can be canned or destroyed. It killed people's lives.
Yeah. Welcome to
crazy.
America.
Yeah.
Well, you said something earlier. It was interesting that all the media in the old Soviet Union used to tell you how wonderful the Soviet Union was and how bad America was. So it was propaganda. The media was propaganda in Soviet Union. And now, you can argue that this media has got a lot of propaganda going on with it.
It's different. It's very different.
It's probably another podcast topic, though, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So when you got here, you were broke and then you bought 3 apartments or something. You bought 3 homes or something.
So my parents bought a 6-family house. They rented the other apartments. And the reason why they did that was, I guess it was my dad's, his nature. He was a businessman. He wanted to move into a better neighborhood to give us a better life. But my parents were always absent because they were working 80, 90 hours. But in hindsight, when I look at it, they have developed or given us really great values because those values weren't distilled into my sisters and I. So we're very grateful for that, even though they worked. So, yeah.
But at some point you bought 3 homes. When you were telling me, I was like, again, that's remarkable. Like, cause like you said, it was like COVID or something.
Oh yeah. So this is a little crazy. I've always dreamed about becoming a powerful lawyer.
Oh yeah, lawyer.
And I begged my parents, please send me to private school. Please send me to private school. And my mom was like, you're just going to go to public school. And I used to get beaten up. And so
By who?
It was
other
Brooklyn,
girls?
or whatever. I don't know. All I remember was I was small and I was very shy, if you can believe that.
I have a hard time believing that, by the way.
I know. But I used to be very, very scared. And so if you get beaten up once or twice, what are you going to do? Continue? So I started cutting school. So I had a very, very poor basic foundation. And I hid that because in Russia, you have to just get by and figure it out. That's what we were taught. So it was not until I was 25 until I got kicked out of school. And I was in so many different schools.
From college, right?
Right.
Okay.
I tried to work for, I wanted to be a power lawyer so I can become a judge and do great stuff as a judge. That was always my dream since the age of 8. And that never came to fruition because first I had to become a lawyer. Then you build enough money. Then you meet somebody, you get married, then you have a family. That was like a set of, when you're young, you have these great visions of how you're going to go and where you're going to go. Of course, Andrew changed that for me. He changed my whole plan.
By the way, so she did graduate college, and you wouldn't have been a great attorney. You are a great realtor and business lady. So I think your path was chosen.
I know
you chose well.
You did well. I'm going in circles, but
you got fired at a law office.
So I worked for a law firm in Palm Beach, and in the 2002, I got, it's a great law firm and I can't even talk about the law firm and what they did, but I had all the ins and I knew what they were doing and some of the bad things, but it doesn't matter. I got caught and I was laid off, which was a blessing because I went and I got my real estate license that I failed a test 2 times because I have dyslexia. And I was always embarrassed to talk about that. But what happened was I started looking during hurricane season while everybody was scared staying at home. I started putting offers on 2 or 3 properties that were low priced and sellers were very, very eager to sell. And I bought them really well. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had a feeling that when season rolls, I'm going to make some money. I painted the homes. I cleaned them up. I did very basic stuff. I had no idea what I was doing, but I had that feeling, what do you have to lose? By the end of the season, I tripled what I would make in a year.
At the law firm.
Right.
Okay.
And I was doing better than some of the lawyers, junior lawyers.
Yeah.
Because I did the same thing over and over.
So aren't you glad you're not a lawyer now?
Oh my God. Thank God.
And is that a cross I see?
Yeah. Oh, so.
Well, then you're not really Jewish, are you? Or are you a Jew for Jesus?
Jew for Jesus.
A Messianic Jew.
Yeah. Andrew, one of the things before getting married was he wanted to make sure.
Well, you have to make it your own decisions. And,
I know. It was my decision.
I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Jesus. But you ultimately.
And our lives have been unbelievable because we go to church. Our children we're so blessed. Every life has just been,
it's not all
cloud 9.
That's right. But there's challenges that we go through as well. It's not been,
sure.
you don't become a Christian and all of a sudden your life is always perfect. I mean, we've been through a lot of difficult times as well. So, and I'd argue through the difficult times, your faith it's better to have the faith during the tough times. If you live long enough, you're going to have tough times, and we have as well. And we've gotten through.
We've been through a lot of hard times, a lot. Right. And
good, it's like any.
But we've overcome, and we've had a lot of greatness because we are very committed to each other, and no matter what, we will always be together, and we have that commitment to each other.
Yes.
And we've had a lot of highs and lows, but when you're committed and you love each other and you have a great family, there's nothing better in life than that.
I'll give you a bomb on that one.
All right, I'll take it.
So you kind of built it up. You started kicking butt. You started making money. You still don't know him yet.
No.
And then now 2002, that's when the houses were just going stupid, right? Or was that right before? Was that 2007?
No, they started going up.
Was that 06, 07?
05, 06 was the peak. 07 was teetering at the peak, but it was on life support. And that's when, shortly after that is when the crash happened.
Yeah. So were you able to buy all those homes because of the easy buying was going on?
Yeah.
I missed it, by the way.
Good for you.
Well, I was just.
But it's cyclical.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was just going through a divorce and we just bought a house for like 180 grand. And I just started this business. And my ex-wife said, sign off on the house and I'll sign off on your stupid business. And I said, deal. So I signed off on the house. She signed off on the business. We get divorced. And her house went from like 180 to 400 in like a year. It was like, what? And I got all the stories in the world, but it was so easy to buy homes. She took that home, sold it, took the 400,000, bought another one for 600,000. That one was $1 million too, like shortly thereafter, but it was right in that little, everything was going up.
Mm-hmm. It was a hot potato though.
Yeah. And I missed it, which is why I didn't get smacked in the crash, but you got smacked in the crash.
Big time.
We both did actually.
We both did.
Yeah. So you were in real estate too.
Yeah, I was in real estate. I kind of grew up in the real estate business, but then when I graduated college, I went a different route, but ultimately got back into it. Initially doing some real estate development, and then I moved back to Jupiter and started selling real estate. And I also was buying real estate, and I would buy and sell or buy and rent out. And when the crash happened, it was definitely a challenging time for sure, and I lost a lot of money.
When did you meet?
So Andrew. I met Andrew before in 06. He probably doesn't remember. And at that time, your parents had VIP properties with 100 agents that were really, really big in town. Nothing was on the internet. So this was still in like 05. So I met you. You were like the big broker. And I'm new in the business. And they were selling new construction townhomes, and I was trying to.
Were you building them?
No, we were just selling, just retail sales.
So he was like a hot guy, and I didn't know him. Or first of all, in South Florida, single guys or for single girls, it's really hard to meet successful, not even successful, decent guys. I mean, I guess it's hard for everyone, but at the time, I met you. You were like, you had like 500 clients, and they had a lotto system of who is going to buy. So Andrew had like 30 clients, and he was so popular. And I was just trying to buy one townhome for myself in this new construction. So I was giving my name for 2 years to Billy, and you gave them one like I
didn't have 30 clients, but I had more than a handful. But I made friends with the person who was in charge of the lottery. And,
so he got all of them in.
Coincidentally enough, I got most of my people got it.
And I was at the back.
But you got the townhome. You bought the townhome, right?
Well, that's where I met you.
That's right. But you ended up getting it. You got the one.
I
got
lucky.
So it worked out.
I was one of the lucky ones. But that's when I met Andy. And then I saw a ring. I was like, oh no, a good one taken. But like 7 years or 5 years later.
Yeah, probably. 09. I don't know if that year was probably 05. So in 09, when we met again,
right?
We met showing some real estate. She showed one of my listings, and that's how
Yeah.
That's how we met.
But were you guys both kind of busted at that point?
Busted's, I guess that's financially certainly in a difficult spot, but we had a roof over our head. We were eating. I wasn't like going hungry.
You weren't homeless, but you weren't crushing it like
it
you
was
were.
hard.
We were making money selling real estate, but I was in a financially tough spot because I upside down on several mortgages, dealing with that. So just I had a hole that I dug that I had to dig out of, but we were so it was definitely a difficult time, and I was definitely in a financially difficult spot, but not never. I never missed a meal, I guess you could say. And
Definitely.
But you got crushed because
oh my God, big
all your
time.
mortgages you just had to let go.
I had 20 mortgages, 12 properties. I was upside down because I put tenants in them. I was trying to save everything, and I would be calling Bank of America every single day. They would hang up on me. It was just a really hard time. But the reason, and you don't even know this, what happens is people are afraid to ruin their credit. They think that's the end of the world. If I wasn't so dumb, I would have had money left over, but I was trying to save my credit, and I lost like all of my savings, all of my everything. And it took such a hit. So we had to hit rock bottom to start from the beginning. And that's when we both met.
Right. And
we started saving all of our money and started buying in cash.
Correct. So I was upside down on mortgages. So I would sell it and work out a settlement with the bank that's basically a short sale, short of the payoff.
Sale.
And that was a huge part of the market in that era. And so it was a challenging time, but at the same time, because I had such overhead and you worked harder and you just didn't quit and you got deals closed. That was a very difficult and challenging time. So on the one hand, it was very difficult, but we still made deals happen. We were still making money on our selling real estate to clients. And they were getting people were buying, were getting great value. But what happened when that market crashed, which was in hindsight, it's probably a blessing in disguise, at least half the realtors got out of the business.
Right.
So we picked up a lot of market share during that time frame from like 2009 and 10 when Milla and I first met, and then got married in 2011 and started working together, full time. And we were, a married couple as well as, partners in business. So we're picking up a lot more market share because less realtors, plus we had momentum. So and then at that time too, I knew, even though I bought some homes when I shouldn't have, and I knew deep down it was probably a mistake, but you got caught up in everything going up. So I was guilty of that, but I knew at the bottom, it was the bottom. And we actually tried to put together a private equity fund to invest in real estate when it was just so perfect a time to buy whatever you could buy. And you couldn't miss, but nobody wanted anything to do with real estate. So Milla and I, we just hustled, we put money together, and we started getting loans again. And we started buying properties, selling them. We'd buy them and move into them and clean them up a little bit.
The first year when we got married.
And then we would sell them. So we started just building back our...
We moved 5 times in 5 years.
Yeah, close to
we
that.
We did. Yeah. And then we found a nice piece of land on the river, and we built our first home. And then we just started getting into luxury real estate because it was... We were
always selling. Actually, Milla met me on a listing that I had on Jupiter Island on the Intercoastal. So we were always selling the luxury properties, but prices have gone up. So now they're even more luxurious and more pricey. But we were always selling that. Just the prices have gone up.
Yeah, but it took a lot of time, a lot of build up, and we had to go through trivial. Like when we started buying homes, there were 200,000, 400,000. Then you go to $1 million. From $1 million, you go up to 2. So you double out, you triple that. And we definitely made the right moves when we did. If we did not do that, we could have lost all that money. But that's how we built equity because we made...
Well, the first couple, we bought an apartment or a townhome in West Palm Beach for, I think, $25,000 or $30,000. You can buy a car for that inexpensive. And there was a tenant already in there paying $600 or $700 a month. So it was already like a 25% return, a cap rate. It was no downside. So we bought a couple of those, and in a perfect world, we would have held those for years, but we were able to turn them, 8 months later for $50,000.
Because we saw different opportunities,
little things like that, and we would just start picking up the low hanging fruit and selling them, flipping them, building back our reserves, our money, and then ultimately started buying homes on the water, renovating them and selling them and making more money. And then we bought a lot we built a house on that was really nice. And then I've got a development background, so we started then doing some spec homes, and that's worked out well as also. So we're really, we are not just realtors. I guess we're real estate investors, and we're real estate people, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah. I mean, at first I was thinking, oh, they're real estate agents, but no, you just do that also. You're actually investors.
We're investors too, but I like the real. I mean, I like the real estate side of it. I like
business owners. Listen up. If your business needs more money, and it will, banks aren't built to move quick. They'll make you fill out a ton of paperwork, wait for a decision, and by that time, the opportunity has passed you by. So if you want bank rates without bank delays, you need to check out Cardiff. Cardiff's been helping businesses get same-day funding for over 20 years. We're talking up to $500,000 approved and funded, quicker and easier than the big banks. You can apply online in under 2 minutes and get funded as fast as the same day. So whether you need quick money to bridge a gap, do more marketing, get some equipment, or even hire more people, I'm telling you, apply today at cardiff.co. Stop letting slow money cost you opportunities that move fast. There's no impact on your personal credit, so go to cardiff.co and apply. Subject to approval, terms and rates vary. Cardiff. Borrow better.
the deal. I like putting deals together. I like it when we're working with our clients and
we win.
You know, I like looking at a transaction when it's all said and done, and more often than not, we have the seller. So I like to see that the seller got top price and they all got the good terms. And if we got the buyer, I like to make sure they buy in it for the right price. So I take it a little personal that, we want to get our people the best terms and price. And, it's important, it's for whatever reason, it's just what we do. So we want to make sure, we do the best for the people we do, that do hire us and trust us to with transactions like this.
Well, most married couples can't figure out where to eat dinner. How do you guys work together every day?
Well, I pick my battles with Milla. She's got a strong personality. So if she wants to go out to happy hour or dinner, I'm usually okay with that. So we have, and we probably go out to dinner once or twice a week, and then we're home, the rest of the week. So it's, so usually we'll go, I know the restaurant she likes. So if she wants to go out to dinner, I'll suggest one that she likes, and usually she'll be on board with that. So.
Yeah, but I don't mean literally. I mean, most married couples can't figure out dinner.
What to do?
No, you guys literally are building this together. How do you get along every day?
Easy. Well, we're on two different sides of the office. We have two different styles.
Well, not just that. We also Milla is definitely more detail oriented and more she more detail oriented and more things that she gets concerned with. I'm more bigger picture. So I pick my battles because I know I trust her implicitly. So if she's got things going on that she is strong with, including this podcast, by the way, which I was excited about when she told me about it. So I'm on board with it. But if there's some things that we have genuine disagreements about, I pick my battles, and but they're few and far between.
Andrew likes to make all the big decisions. I make all the little decisions.
Right. We haven't had a big one since we got married, though.
Oh, we've had quite a few of them.
I'm teasing. But so we have complementary skills too, because she's also great with marketing, with the social media side of things. I'm real estate is in my blood, so I know it pretty well. So we have a good complementary skill set.
In 2022, you had an issue, did you?
Oh,
there was an issue, court case, something about Jupiter beachfront deal.
Correct. We had people who we trusted who, in hindsight, we shouldn't have, and some said things about us that were not true, and ultimately we were. It was all acquitted, and we are in good standing. So we did nothing wrong, but it was certainly a challenging time.
It was a very challenging time.
You guys keep coming back after all these challenging times. What keeps you guys so freaking not quit type people?
Well, so what happened was, Andrew probably doesn't want me to talk about it, and I'll keep it brief. We had a very tough client who we brought the buyer, and the seller promised a handshake that he would pay us. And under duress, Andrew worked his ass off to make it happen. And it happened. So at the closing, we had another listing agent with us. We look at the closing and we're like, where's our commission? They refused. They cut us our commission. And they said that because he signed.
They refused. Here's what happened. They refused to pay us. We fought it. The other realtor and one of the partners of the seller said things that weren't true and signed affidavits that weren't true. And ultimately.
And it was also our partner who was a builder.
Ultimately, was a tough lesson, but a lesson we learned. And ultimately, we were
acquitted. It was a very tough time. Very tough time. But
we didn't get paid though. We didn't make the money.
We definitely didn't get paid.
So it's fine. Which is fine.
We normally it would be 6%. We got paid 0.5%, and Andrew did all the work.
Anyway,
and so what happens is if you don't get it on paper, we had a handshake that we were going to get paid. They promised that we would. We took it to closing, and even though it was a reduced commission, we never got paid. And then they went after our licenses
because you wanted your money, basically.
Well, then they got vindictive. Then there was people involved writing affidavits that weren't true. So we had an uphill battle, but you know what?
But
we got through it,
our company really came through for us.
Yeah, we people supported us, and
Mike Pappas with Illustrated Properties.
People who know us know the
we had a lot of great support. Yeah, but it was a very hard time for about a year, and Andrew is very, very private, so it hit home. But we were fighting, and we were like, look. If you're going to take our licenses, fine. You're not going to take our dignity. We're still going to continue doing what we're doing, or we're going to do something else. We're survivors. This is
you
not
only need
everything.
A license to sell it. You don't need a license to invest in it.
Right.
But still, it's your name.
They went after us, and we fought, and ultimately we didn't. It was we didn't make the money, but we clear our name, and people who know us know we say something. That's why Milla said we've done a lot of deals on handshakes, and usually you can do that if you know the right people. But they weren't the right people, and you learn a lesson. But we move on, like you said, you survive, you push through it, and you move on to the next deal, and you get through it, and that's what we did.
If you guys could only do one thing, sell them or build them, which one's more money in?
Build.
There's certainly more risk as well, but build. And I like the development side of things.
It's fun.
When I first got back into real estate after kind of growing up in the business, I had a partner from college, and we developed apartment complexes using some like tax credits, and also we did a self-storage and a car wash. So I liked it. It was exciting. I liked seeing things, come from the ground up, developing from the ground up, and going through all the approvals and getting, and you see a tangible result when it's all said and done. So I really like doing that. So we started flipping homes. I like that as well. And then building the spec homes has been great too. So we really enjoy doing that. And now Milla's got great style and taste as well. So when we're building these homes, she really, she and a designer will work really well.
We staged them and we move our furniture.
But when you build it, you design it really well.
We do,
work with the architects,
but we also work with designers, so they help us, and we do have an eye for it, and it's really, really great. Going back to the other thing, what's really, really important is, and what we've learned is that when we pick partners, you have to be really careful. Because
that's right. You got to know who you're working with, and we do that now.
You can trust.
We learned a valuable lesson, and
on the development side,
on anything in general.
Not selling.
Because it's a lot. It's a lot of risk. And when you're working with a partner, we trust each other, we know each other, and luckily right now we have really good partners. Mm-hmm. But we went through a builder or two that were, so you got to be pretty careful.
Yeah, it was a challenging time, but we got through it. But you're right, though. We learned a valuable lesson. So you want to know who you're dealing with and who you're in business with. So, yeah.
So all the realtors that might be listening, the ones that sell, because I always say the money's not selling them. The money's either developing them or owning them. Like the real money, if you want to be wealthy in real estate, never sell. That's what a billionaire told me once. He said, Brad, the trick is never sell. And I'm like, I don't get it. How you ever get your money out? But I didn't get it then. But what would you say to all the real estate agents listening, and they want to end up like you guys ended up, which is done? You guys sell hundreds of millions of dollars in homes, no?
We do in a year. So our retail business does very well, and we do very well financially just selling real estate. So I would tell other realtors that, you got to work hard. You really got to know what you're doing. Everyone talks about service and everything, but you got to know the real estate market, know it well, know it better than the next guy. And then you've got to be attentive. You got to answer your phone. You've got to
answer your phone's one big one.
time.
Yeah. I don't know why realtors don't seem to call people.
No, you have
answering your phone and calling people. So you got to hustle. You got to work hard to get the clients, and you got to know what you're talking about when you actually get them on the phone. So if you do that, you'll be successful. And then if you want to start investing in real estate, you're on the front lines, so you see what's out there. So if you see the low-hanging fruit, a home that's sitting on the market that's got great value and no one's buying it, you can buy it, pull it off, buy it, move into it, or buy it and clean it up and sell it, or buy it and rent it. To your point about the billionaire, a lot of these guys do who are investors will, rather than pay the capital gains on a big, more so on on a commercial property where you're getting a cash flow and a cap rate, rather than sell it and pay a big capital gain, they'll just borrow money against it at a lower rate and not pay the capital gains, and then put that money to work and have a positive arbitrage with the money. So there's a lot of strategies where those high net worth guys do that. When we sell a property, it's a retail property and we're selling it, we're making money, they're going to reinvest it. And we do own some real estate that we rent out as well, that cash flows. And if we need to, we can pull loans against those kind of properties.
How's the market right now?
It's been,
our market is, there's movement. There's definitely movement ever since, I guess, the New York mayor.
Even before that.
Oh, because everyone's moving to Florida.
Yeah. Even before that, though, in 2024, it was a challenging year. There was a lot of buyers on the sideline waiting to see what happened, if prices are going to drop. So it was difficult. A lot of deals were falling apart. Even the first quarter, which is typically the peak season where we live in South Florida, it was not a bad season, but it wasn't great. But then in middle July, August, it really started picking up, which is really the height of the off season. And people were buying the more expensive homes, and they're buying the value. They're buying the low hanging fruit. And it started happening, kind of little stealth type purchases were happening. And then it really picked up, just at least perception wise. And even the phone's been ringing more since the New York mayor elect they elected a communist. So a lot of high net worth people in New York are looking to leave. And that was always been that trend. But I think it's accelerating the trend where you're seeing the affluent people in New York move out of there. And maybe they'll move to Connecticut as well. But there's a lot of the migration historically has been from New York City to South Florida. So it's been good. It's been a good few months for sure. We've been very busy.
We have definitely seen an uptick in the last several months, and the season hasn't yet arrived.
Yeah, this is usually off season right now.
We're usually not that busy, but we've been hustling, even though we're not in there. We have a good crew that work for us and with us, but we've been nonstop.
High level or high net worth people, do they tend to pay cash for houses, or do they? Or
that's
do they
90% of our clientele.
They do, but here's what they do. Oftentimes, they'll pay cash, but they'll borrow against their portfolio with their
wealth manager,
with their lender or wealth manager. So even though it's a cash deal, they're borrowing against their assets more often than not.
Yeah.
So they're getting basically tax free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they do. A lot of them.
Yeah.
It's all
and they
cash
keep their
deals.
money to work, keep their money at work in the equities market, and they borrow against it. So they're borrowing against it at a relatively low rate, and they're getting usually a higher return with what the stocks are doing or their dividends are doing.
Yeah. And these richies, I call them, are they? Is it you guys, that house that I see on your social media, or several of them, these are extravagant looking homes. With that white one you were in, who built that? Did you guys build that too?
Our partner.
Coastal Custom Concepts. They built that home, and they built a few homes just like that. Beautiful, contemporary home.
Brian Grossman.
Great quality.
He's got the vision. He's great.
Yeah.
Do they build it and then sell it, or do they sit with the buyer and build what the buyer wanted?
We do whatever the buyer wants, as long as it clears.
Those were built on speculation. So they were built and then staged and then sold for a retail buyer.
Speculation means I'm going to build what I want, and then I know it'll sell.
We're going to build what we want, that we know, that we believe the market will be
what the demand is for.
Yeah, what
and
the
right now,
market's
there's a lot of luxury coming into Jupiter Island, Palm Beach Island, and a lot of the people, they want to go to a tax-free state.
The strongest segment of the luxury market for the last several years, and now in particular, has been new construction, usually on the water or near the beach. So there's a demand for that right now.
What about hurricanes?
Well, these new homes are really
hurricane proof.
They're all concrete and steel. They're all hurricane impact windows. They're built. The one on the beach that you saw, that's got like 100 pilings going 60 feet in the ground. So it ain't going anywhere. It's these homes are built really, really well.
You can't worry about hurricanes. When everybody leaves, that's when we buy. That's when you know.
Well, the hurricane
because
season,
the sellers, you put in an offer because you don't know if they're going to take it or not, depending on who it is.
So
you throw a few offers, two gets accepted. It's not so bad.
So here's another thing. Like talking about what other realtors listening. When homes sit on the market and they miss the peak season where we live, and all of a sudden, right after the peak season is hurricane season. So a lot of the people who are part-time residents are gone, and things are quieter in the summertime or late summer, and that's when the hurricanes pick up. So if somebody overpriced their home during the season, it didn't sell, and it's sitting on the market in the summer heading into hurricane season, all of a sudden they're getting a little antsy, and they may take a lower bid. So that's knowing the market and knowing, okay, now's the time to buy it right and give them a low bid. So that's just knowing the market. That's just market knowledge that we have.
So here's a formula.
And that's what Milla did when she first got into it.
It's very simple. You buy in August, September, October. You sell in February, March, April.
Although this year it's not the case. I was just mentioning this year.
That's right.
August, September, October. Year. It's been busy, and it was not on fire. August, January, February, March, April of 2025. I feel like we're going to have a strong year end, and I think this season 2026 looks like it's going to be very strong too, but to be determined. But generally speaking, you're right, I would say.
A lot of times what happens is when the hurricane season comes, the media and the weather, they start talking about, the hurricane is coming and everything. So you will see price drops. So usually when there's a lot of price drops, you know that seller is probably motivated to sell. So that's when you come in and you put an offer for your buyer. That's when you buy. Now, when the season is hot and everybody is trying to outbid each other for a great piece of property, you don't buy because you're going to be paying a top dollar. That's when you sell. It's very simple.
What do you guys think separates you guys from every other luxury real estate company? They're fighting for the same client.
Yeah, and by the way, there's a lot of good realtors that we work with, and we work with them oftentimes, even though they're competitors. But I think, we're obviously biased. I think we're the best, but there are a lot of great realtors that we work, in competition and also with, because we'll have a listing, they'll bring the buyer or vice versa. But what separates us is we put the effort in. We come into work every day.
Really hard.
And Milla really is detail oriented with we'll look at a listing and we'll make it perfect for the client.
And Andrew has integrity.
Whether it's removing some furniture or adding furniture, helping to stage it, making things just right, getting the best photographer, coming on when the weather is perfect. So putting our best foot forward.
But I will say integrity. But also what's nice about our relationship is this.
Yeah.
Andrew's starting to become more like me, and I'm starting to become more like Andrew because we spend so much time together. Like I used to be more paranoid of my Russian observant because of my upbringing, and I've seen how my parents operate. I used to be really paranoid, and he would always be relaxed. So now things have shifted.
I'm still relaxed, but to answer your question, knowing market knowledge, effort, and answering the phone. We also, when other realtors want to show our listing, we roll the red carpet out for them and get them in there. We accommodate.
But with Andrew, it's integrity. Integrity is really. Yes, but before, I will be honest. When I first got into real estate, I did not have respect for realtors. I didn't know what realtors were. I thought that they were just like sleazy salespeople.
Yeah.
And now I have a totally different respect for our profession. And I wish our licenses were more expensive. That way, weed out you can't hire your brother or your mother you need a professional. So there's a lot of ethics. There's a lot of so many layers go into this profession. And if you're not that, you're not going to get the service. So
maybe, sir, to answer your earlier question, we add value to the transaction. So we obviously get paid a commission, but we don't get paid until it closes. I believe this to be true, that when we list a house, we'll get more money than your average realtor because we're going to do the things that they won't do, including making the changes, telling the owner who maybe love their art or whatever that, hey, we need to, less is more. We need to get rid of this. We need to add that. And just being honest with them and just telling them, hey, this is what we need to do to get top dollar. And they listen and we do it and we get usually more money than the next guy.
Is it based on aesthetics? Like if I walk in your house and it's like disgusting, we'll get no money. We'll take care of everything.
Right.
I'm in a house. Let's just say this. I've walked through homes before where there's shoes all over the closet. There's like, shit on the walls, like dirt, like wipe down your wall. And it makes us want to leave, even though the house can be cleaned up and painted. Why does it matter what the furniture is? Or does it matter?
It does. It absolutely
So staging is a big thing.
Perception is reality. Leaving shit around is a mistake. We make sure the place looks great before we show it. And if we get there 15 minutes early. So if they didn't do some things, we'll pick up the shoes and put it away. We're not going to.
But have you seen that type of shit ruin deals?
Here's what I've seen, actually. I've seen it sit on the market longer than it needs to and get less money than they would have otherwise. And I'll tell a buyer, if I'm showing it as a buyer and and they start complaining about this, that, and the other, I said, Mr. Buyer, they're doing you a huge favor right now because of all the crap they got out, because how bad it shows, because they have too much furniture, because they didn't make their bed and they got shoes lying around and there's dog crap in the backyard. It's turning so many people off. They're leaving before they walk in. You're going to be able to buy this at the right price, and you use it as an opportunity to buy it at the right price. So it's to their detriment that they do that. Whereas if we were listing that house, we'd say you have to do this, that, and this. Otherwise, you're not gonna sell it for what it's worth.
Right now, where we're at in Jupiter, all the homes look really good. All the realtors, there's a lot of realtors. It's extremely competitive. So most of the realtors will fix and make sure everything goes to market well. They know, and you have to go the extra mile. And we do that as part of our commission, because if you don't, you'll be out. And you have to spend your money in the forefront to fix all these things. And
or you'll fix it for them out of your own pocket?
Oh, yeah. We'll send our painters.
Sometimes we will.
Bring our furniture.
Depends what we're doing.
We will do that.
Yeah,
we always do. And sometimes we're making fun of ourselves as being the movers. If we don't succeed in real estate, we'll become a moving company as a joke. But it happens all the time because we have a lot of really nice furniture and we store it in our barn and we'll use it over and over.
We have staging furniture. We help out. We don't do full staging, but we can do living areas and bedrooms, and we also have a lot of decor that will help. So,
and just making a bedroom look nice helps sell the house.
It makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
And here's another thing.
Don't they have their own furniture anyway?
Yeah,
they
a lot
do,
of them do.
But sometimes things are missing or it doesn't look right, or all that. We'll come in and we will fix.
A lot of times,
or dirty windows.
You clean the windows.
We'll get them cleaned. We have all the resources. We have
the trades.
But
a lot of times you walk in someone's house and they got too much furniture, and you got to say you need to leave. You got to remove this, and this, and it's going to show bigger and better. So less is more sometimes.
Interesting.
Right. Yeah.
But right now in Florida, most homes look really immaculate.
In our area.
In our area, everything looks perfect.
Where's the best spot? I mean, where was Tony Robbins? I think he was West Palm Beach.
Delray. I think he bought in Delray Beach, which is southern part of Palm Beach County. We're in Jupiter, which is northern part of Palm Beach County. So we're probably, I don't know where he lives exactly, but my guess is we're 40 minutes away from his house.
But Jupiter Island, Jupiter is pretty nice. We've got Tiger Woods. We've got, who's that?
A lot of pro golfers live in Jupiter for whatever reason.
What's more la-di-da? Naples, Boca Raton, or Jupiter?
So they're all different.
Definitely Naples and the Boca Raton.
Let me just say this. I'm partial and biased to Jupiter for a lot of reasons, and I think it's a better place to live, better lifestyle. Boca Raton is more glitzy. Jupiter is more understated. So I like the understated for a lot of reasons, and it's also a little less populated, so there's less density, so there's less congestion, there's less traffic, the beaches aren't crowded. So I like Jupiter better for a lot of reasons. Nothing wrong with Boca Raton or Naples. Naples is the West Coast. West Coast is definitely more seasonal, a little older demographically, which is fine as well. But we live in Jupiter, so we love Jupiter.
We love Jupiter.
But that aside, taking my
you
bias
would
out
like
of the
Jupiter. I could see him at Square Grouper.
Taking my bias.
It's very chill.
Yeah.
It's like a big hangout.
It's a bar on the inlet. It's
on
looking
a
out at the
blue
ocean.
water.
Yeah.
And who was there? Who had the concert? Alan Jackson.
A few years ago.
It's
he used to live in Jupiter for a little bit.
There's like sand, and it's very laid back. Everybody wears like comfortable clothes and just very chill, and people know each other. It's just very relaxed, nothing pretentious. Nobody cares what you drive, or it's just very calm. And a lot of families. It's very family oriented. It's young, and it's a lot of business people. So it's kind of mixed. It's a great place to have a family to raise.
What about Seaside?
Seaside.
That's on the West Coast, I think. Seaside,
It's up
Florida.
by like Destin, I think.
Oh, it's a Panhandle.
Well,
Okay.
Destin is nice.
Well, the Seaside or I forget what they call
Florida's
it.
a big state, but I think it's up in the West Coast or by the Panhandle. So it's
very
totally
pretty.
different.
But we're not seasonal. They're seasonal. We're like all year round.
What's the average temperature?
Summer it gets
depends.
warm. I mean, it's certainly summer. You're high 80s, 90.
Very humid. Wintertime,
this time
50,
of year, it's
60, 70.
Well, it's in the 70s, and when cold front rolls in, you get down in the 50s. So it's this time of year. It's beautiful.
How often is it monsoon hurricane?
2-3 months, it's nothing.
Hurricane
the media
season
over exaggerates.
The peak of hurricane season is
July, till-
August, September, July, August, September, early part of October. And they come, and you get prepared if it comes your way. But
that's a good time to go on vacation or buy.
Yeah, well, anyway. It's not as crazy as people make it out to be. The West Coast of Florida got hit pretty bad a couple of years ago, and for whatever reason, the West Coast has been getting hit of Florida by Naples, a little north of Naples. Excuse me. Hard, yeah.
No,
but we have thick skin. That doesn't bother us.
But also the science behind it is different too. The Gulf of Mexico, or Gulf of America rather, is shallow. The water's shallow. So when a hurricane comes on the Gulf side, the storm surge is getting much greater because the storm can push shallow water into land a lot more than the Atlantic's very deep. So they get hurt by hurricanes more so than the East Coast. But you got to be careful. You don't want to be cavalier about it, but it's not as bad.
We have more wind on our east side in Jupiter.
It's not as bad as the media makes it out to be. If you got a big storm coming, you should be prepared for it. But it's, you deal with, like anything, you deal with it.
Do you guys leave?
We go on vacation.
You ever come home and see just disaster?
Last time there was a hurricane.
So you clean up. It's not a big deal. Then you build bigger and better, and you sell for more. That's been the sequence.
Last time was a hurricane. It was Hurricane Nicole. It was like it was a small hurricane, and our daughter's name was Nicole, so I remember that name well. And we had some family were in town, so they came over. We ordered some pizza. We had a couple of beers, a glass of wine, and we just kind of hung out at the house. We have a hurricane-proof house for the most part, and we had a
hurricane party, right?
I don't call it a party.
It's like a hangout.
When I was maybe in my younger days and high school, college, we would call it a hurricane party. So you gotta, if it's a really bad storm, you should evacuate if you need to, but it's not as bad. You just gotta.
So we had a
case by
big
case.
50th birthday party during hurricane season and during COVID when everybody was home, stuck and not going out. We were the only ones that had 50 people over our house. Remember that was during hurricane?
No, that was a hurricane. It was COVID. It was COVID.
I think it was a combination.
There
of
was
both.
no hurricane. It was just COVID, and we had a party, and people came. And
we didn't have masks.
Yeah. Anyway,
now we know that was all bullshit.
Anyway. We didn't comply. We didn't wear a mask unless we had to go. And anyway, I'm glad that era is over. But we had a party and people came. Some people didn't because they were worried about
COVID.
COVID.
I think the weather was really bad that day. There was
I don't think so.
But it doesn't matter.
So are you guys into now where you want to take Russo Group? Are you going to be more developing or more sales?
We still love doing sales.
We do sales. That's our bread and butter. We look for opportunities on the development side. So we're not like, just always looking for land. And we're also, we'll do one-off. Sometimes if it's a house that makes sense just to buy and rent out, we'll do that as well. So we just look for opportunities. We're real estate people. We don't really invest much in the stock market, so we invest in real estate. So we'll look for rental opportunities, but we do like building new construction. So we'll definitely be, in fact, we've got a couple of homes we're going to be building on the river in Jupiter and Tequesta, starting probably breaking ground in December. So we will definitely do that as the opportunity presents itself. But our day job is we have 20 plus listings, and we sell real estate in Jupiter, Tequesta, along the beach and along the water, more high end stuff and luxury real estate. So that's kind of our bread and butter.
We like representing like-minded type of business people that have a vision, think big, and not just who want to hire serious people to get top dollar. That we are listers, so we like doing luxury homes and waterfront properties.
That's right, we do, and we if you want to buy or sell, we will certainly would love the chance to talk to you. We answer our phone, so give us a call.
And if there's like real estate agents that like love what you guys are doing, are you hiring?
We would hire the right people. They have to be workers and go-getters.
We have a few
but
people.
They'll make money.
Yeah.
Because you guys got inventory, you got listings, you can develop. You're just, you guys, what I would consider more investors that happen to do it all. Because if you see a property that comes up, you can buy it, build it, and then they can sell that. You can buy it, build it, hold it. You can build a strip mall. You can do pretty much anything. So you guys are just sitting down there getting more and more wealthy. I'm trying to figure out, how does the bomb squad help and get help? Meaning, hey, if you guys want a house, a badass house, and it's not just $50 million houses. You got normal houses.
We sell Jupiter, Tequesta. I mean, I grew up in Jupiter and Tequesta. So over the years, it's gotten expensive. It's hard to find a single family home for under $1 million. But, I have high school buddies that I've helped them buy a $300,000 home in not too distant past. And so we know the area very well, even the areas that are not multi-million dollars. So if it's Northern Palm Beach County, we know it, and we like working with people who like working with us. So
now if you find because I was about to say, well, call me if there's a killer deal, but you guys would just snatch it.
No, not necessarily. No. So we're cautious of that. I mean, if we have a client looking for something, we definitely would not do that. If we see something that we like that's on the market or that's even off market, sure, we'll look at it. But
if I were a realtor, and my brother said, hey, if you see any killer deals down there, let me know. Okay. Well, now I see a killer deal. Like, damn, dude, they're wanting, $9 million. That's easily an $11 million property. Like, I'm just going to buy it, and then I'll sell it to my brother for.
We would never do that. If we have a client, we would never buy the property if it was for our client. We always take our client first because there's so many opportunities. We're not going to sell ourselves out for one little deal.
That's right.
There's so many of them. Our integrity is more important than one little thing. And we would tell, like, I have a client right now I'm working with, and he wants to buy a waterfront property. So I give him the option. I tell him, look, here's the deal. You put in the offer for this amount. If you don't do it, I will. I'm just I'm giving you the and that's what happens. We always give them that
that's
first
nice.
option.
Yeah, and I should say
you can always make money.
That's right. And actually, there's plenty of places to look for property to buy, and we're not looking to buy a $9 million home and sell it for 11. No. We're looking at a piece of land that we can build a new home on, or a home that's beat up that we can renovate and either rent out or sell. And there's less people looking for those type homes to rent or to build, for that matter. So,
and usually those properties have been sitting on the market for 2 years, and they've been beaten up so much nobody wants them. And we look at that. Oh, okay, that's luxury, because we know if the floor plan is great, we can take it down to the studs, put everything new, make it beautiful, and then sell it at the top dollar as long as it's on a great location and water.
Right. And we use our skill set to help our clients too. Yeah. Like, where we have a guy who's buying a house to renovate and live in. And I was going to say, Steve, this is a great opportunity. I mean, this is a kind of opportunity where people would, a lot of people always looking to buy and flip deals, but usually they're looking for lower price stuff, $400,000 or $500,000, which really doesn't exist by us. But this really, there's margins there to actually do it. But he's looking to do it to renovate it and move into it. And I said, 1 + 1 is going to equal 3. You're going to buy it for just under $4 million. He's going to probably put the better part of $1 million into it. And it's going to be worth $6.5 million, $6 million.
That's worth doing.
That's right. It's worth doing. Is it worth doing as a flip? Probably, maybe, but definitely worth as a retail client. It makes a lot of sense. So, and we tell them where to spend the money and where not to spend the money, because you can get carried away and spend $2 million on renovation instead of spending $800,000. Exactly. So you got to where you spend your money counts as well. There's places you should spend it, places you shouldn't, and that's part of knowing,
And you got to do it in the right time,
the
because
trade as well.
If you don't get it done at the right time, the market might change. So then you're stuck. So you got to be really careful and watch what you're doing and your spending, because at the end of the day, it has to be on the plus side, because for every win, there's a loss. So you got to be pretty careful when you do these things. And we take a big pride in how we tell our clients to be super careful, because when we risk on our stuff, that's one thing. We will be fine. We'll figure out a way to scramble. And we've made some losses, but when you're dealing with other people's money, you have to be super, super careful, because that's their hard-earned money. So we're always very cautious with our clients and their money.
What I always tell our clients is that the advice we give you regarding buying or selling is advice that we would adhere to ourselves. And some people want something more. If they want something more and they want to pay for it, they'll pay for it. And some people just want to sell their property and get out of it in 30 or 60 days, and that's fine too. Price will do that. So, but either way, we're their advocate, working in their best interest to buy or sell.
Okay, last question. If someone's listening and they're like, because if I was listening, I'd be like, I like these guys' style, but are you only in Jupiter, or can I call you for anywhere in South Florida?
Sure.
South Florida. And we have, you asked earlier, we have people working for us. We do. We have a team. So we're
and we're also connected.
Others.
We have other agents we know in Miami, Orlando. We have friends that we connect with, and we can refer you to the right people.
That's right. We know this area, Northern Palm Beach County, very, very well. West Palm, even Palm Beach to a large degree. But if you we had somebody calling from Miami, if we didn't know that area, we would find the person who works in our network who knows it as well as we know this area. So we're putting in someone who's a like-minded professional who specializes in that particular area.
You'll vouch for them. You'll get them someone that's good.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, then anybody listening, folks, you guys want a nice luxury home, I'd call the Russo Group. And again, it's just russo-group.com.
Yeah.
Correct. And you can follow Milla at milla.jupiter.realtor. Look at some of the badass properties they have. You don't have one, huh?
Yes, he does.
What's my Instagram?
Andrew.russo.broker.
At andrew.russo.broker.
And also at Russo-redefined.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go, folks. Well, I appreciate you guys coming in. Keep kicking that ass. Keep hopefully you're through all the battles. You guys are resilient.
There's always battles, but there's
life.
You go through valleys and you appreciate the mountaintop.
It'll be boring if you didn't have it.
That's right. Folks, you heard it. As always, till next time, keep it real.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you. That was fun.